I'm asking, it is Elva leading Lotus. It is Bromley leading Arculus. Leveling out, there's a marginal gradient downhill into Murray's and it levels out at the last moment. Now you get on the power, and at the end of lap 1, it is Sean Bromley in the Elva, 11 seconds off in qualifying, but he's leading by about a second come the end of the first lap from that Lotus Mark 9, the 71 car with the distinctive, sort of tails after the rear wheels on that machine.
I remember one year I got here so early for the touring cars.
Christopher Mann has found himself
but they let me into the circuit in my car, and so I went and parked it behind the grandstand over at Murray's. But then it must have still been about 6 in the morning, so I went and put my chairs out, hopped back in my car, so I'll just rest my eyes. Woke up with thousands of people around me, and I was the only car parked there as well. Yeah. I was like, I must just look like such a weirdo, being only car parked here, being just snoozing in my MG, being thousands of people standing around. I was like, oh, what a lovely thing to wake up to, being your car surrounded by crowds of people. I was like, this is great.
Pretty good. Lotus is, of course, generally very on the brakes. It's a characteristic not just of a Lotus car, but of the Lotus brand altogether, is that the brakes in the corners is where they are good. Colin Chapman always used to say "add lightness," which is a surprisingly contradictory phrase given how famous it has become.
Yeah.
If you've got the here at like 7, half 7, then you might not off to half 6.
The Lotus 9 now beginning to close the gap to the Elva. It was 4 or 5 car lengths between himself and the leader.
Yeah.
Now Arculus is nose to tail with that Elva, so maybe deciding just to settle for a couple laps and beginning to unleash the true pace of the Lotus at this stage. On the back straightaway, it's still the Elva of Bromley in first, then it's the Lotus 9 of Arculus in second, and then it's almost the entire Bentley straight, if not the entire Bentley straight on the second lap before you see third place. But within a scrap with Waterstone and Religious, they were still running very close together. And now through Brundle and Nelson. But now nose to tail, the Lotus Mark 9. It's already very slippery, but the slipstream helps it maybe just that little bit more. To the inside goes Brian Arculus. He's a little bit later on the brakes as well for Richie's at turn number 1. His line is compromised, but that doesn't seem to matter as he gets that one done. Here's the scrap between the 86 and the
it's certainly a good little battle for being first, and then the one for third as well is pretty good.
The Alfa Romeo goes down the inside.
Yeah.
Christopher Mann regains that position at Richie's. The time screen seems to have had somewhat of an issue though, because
plus the noise of the Alfa is just phenomenal.
Which I'm not entirely sure is correct at this stage.
It's sort of weird to see people with cars like that, you know, when they're at events like Goodwood, and then they'll pop down to, like, you know, just a little event like this. Yeah.
Fastest lap of the race last time around went the way of Brian Arculus, and indeed he's found himself ahead after that turn 1 move of the Elva. Now the question is, can he open up that gap? He was a second faster last time around in the process to closing up and then making the pass for the lead. Will he be able to be a second, maybe even further ahead by the time they get round to complete this one? It's the Elva of Bromley that's attempting to do something about it. Does hook it up very well at Augie's, does that Elva, and then also flows incredibly well through the right-hander onto the straight, but it seems like the Lotus is Really matching it there, but then just got a little bit more at the end of the straights. It's not as big of a pace difference as we've seen in some of the Equipe races, but it is still notable by the time they're getting to those final 50 metres or so on the straight. The pace differential is relatively large. The dip at the bomb hole. Closing up. Put it to the bit. We're on the inside. See it coming, however, and they just let the steering drift over and cover out that swoop to the inside for Murray's. As a result, it will be the Lotus 9 and Brian Arculis to lead lap number 3. Back, however, got a fantastic exit out of Murray's, and in fact it's not the Lotus 9 that leads, it is once again the Elva Bromley crossing the line ahead, marginally on the Lotus 9, and this time it covers the inside for Richie, so he's learned from that one. Where is Brian Arculis going to try next then in the Lotus 9? The Alfa Romeo thunders its way down the pit straight. Next up in third position, still got a handle on Ben Norfolk in the sky blue machine. Still being classified in that Triumph TR3 as Ben Norfolk a lap down, which is a little peculiar. The first lap time came up as a 5 minute something, so I wonder if his transponder didn't work and then it's not been picked up as yet. Either that or there was a significant issue for Ben Norfolk, because he's lapping on par with the Alfa Romeo around him. He's just apparently down in 8th spot, which doesn't seem to make much sense.
No!
Yeah, I'll race you these scooters.
Ready, set, go!
So we are going to provisionally think that unless something very, very strange has happened, then Norfolk should be in 4th. However, we'll wait for confirmation of that come the end in the results, but as it stands on the road at the moment, Ben Norfolk is definitely 4th, and we don't think he went missing at any stage either, so unless he's been docked a lap for some reason, which would seem incredibly harsh.
Race to me. Daddy, race to me. No! No! Go!
Where are the leaders? How's that battle progressing? How's it all shaking out? They will... Well,
It's great.
I'll look around and try and find them, because we're looking at the Alfa Romeo for a minute. The gap's so big that, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure where they've gone. Are they on the approach to Nelson? Yes, they are. And it's ahead. Lotus 9 once again. This time it's not particularly close either. There's 3 or 4 car links in that. They seem to have disappeared for a moment too.
You have to get to me.
So through they come. He'll be trying to keep that lead this time at 4, whereas previously he attempted to take first time in a number of laps. Once again, across the line, burning the 5 seconds off of the car he's racing at the moment, and yet come the race, he's doing incredibly well. He sets a 2:32.3. Now that is quicker than Brian Arculis' qualifying time. So that explains why he's extending the gap. Cassis has gone quicker than that all day long, and it is of course the fastest lap of the race at this stage. So Bromley doing a sterling job. Whatever wasn't quite working for him in that Elva this morning is most definitely working now. Then we get this thundering battle for across the line. It's still Alfa Romeo leading Triumph TR3. Just a little bit closer than last time around, and indeed it was 4/10 of a second advantage to Ben Norfolk. As I say, we believe is in, tentatively we believe is in 4th, although TSL and the timing seems to agree with us up here in the country. Disagree with us. They don't agree with us. That's not the point. Oh man, can you tell it's the end of the day? That battle for 3rd then, it's closed up once again at Wilson. They'll enter the left-hander of Palmer, the blue car closing in on the one-of-a-kind for the UK. Red
Yeah, no worries, mate. See you around, mate.
He's going to need to pull a move or two here at Agostini to defend, because the Triumph is closer than it's ever been. Does the Disco Volante go defensive? No, it doesn't. Does the Triumph try one up the inside? people, so no, they are they are respecting the machines, I think is fair to say here. And if that was modern cars, I suspect you would have seen a lunge up the inside there, but with these cars, don't do anything silly, so instead stays behind and approaches Hamilton, remaining in the tyre tracks of that Alfa Romeo. That time round, so the battle at the front's not quite done yet. What about further back? The battle for third enters the final corner of Murray's now, and I think the Alfa Romeo might have been just a touch deep there. Does that open the opportunity for the triumph of Norfolk to find a way through? No. The Alfa actually gets away just a little bit with the hands of Christopher Mann. It was running with the number 1 sticker on it. It's classified as the 11, so there's duct tape all over that one to try and form a second number 1. Maybe that explains why he because we'll keep an ear out for that one next time it comes past the commentary box. If it does indeed come past the commentary box once again, the Alfa Romeo continues to extend that gap, and as such the Triumph is languishing behind just a touch now. It's not able to maintain the pace that it was on previous laps. What was the lap time for Norfolk that time around? Yeah, it was a 2:41.2, and the lap time up until that point looked pretty good, so he lost a couple of seconds on the final section of the lap here at Snetterton Circuit. Now he breaks into Agostini. Took my headphones off if I was going to be able to hear that, but obviously not a chance over there. We've got cars on the pit straight over here. But nonetheless, that is the beginning. Just slip away now, and every time what he does come to pit lead next time round, because I'm not entirely sure everything is healthy for Ben Norfolk. What about the battle for the race lead? Well, battle I think would be generous now, because Sean Bromley and the Elva Mark IV have they are now considerably far ahead. We'll get the gap for you in the timing line, but it seems like they're another quick lap for us. What about when we look now to spot the Triumph? Oh, it's a long way away from the Alfa Romeo, so the Alfa sitting a comfortable third, although with nothing like the pace to match the lead to, at least 5 seconds a lap off, is the Disco Volante. As he comes onto the pit straight, behind him is the Triumph, and actually falling into the grips now. As Norfolk does pop up the timing screen, so it's confirmed that he was 4th that whole time, but just as he's having a problem, something doesn't sound entirely right with that car as it comes through. I wonder if it's engine or if he's struggling with one of his gears potentially, because it's coming down and the revs are awfully low. Dogs are blue. motorsport genius. Another shake of the head every time we go for that one. Eventually we'll find a complimentary term that you're happy with. Eventually. Might take the next decade, but we'll get there. We'll find one. No reaction whatsoever there. Now the MGA Coupe of Stowe is in fact past Ben Norfolk's blue, sky blue Triumph TR. Continuing to get worse. The lap time last time around for Ben Norfolk was a 2:51.7. Actually not that far away from the lap times being set by John Otis's Lotus Elite, or indeed Alan House's Morgan Plus 4, which for the Triumph Tier 3 is somewhat alarming, you'd have to say. Out front, however, it's still Sean Bromley who continues to extend the gap. He's very, very clear now. He's already a third of the way along the pitch straight as the